All right, let's rob some flies. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, a podcast where an artist and an entomologist team up to illustrate the inspiring abilities of insects by creating bug-themed superheroes. I'm Amanda.
I'm Kelly.
Producer Derek and Rotunda are also here. Before we get started creating this bug-inspired hero, what's bugging you, Kelly?
Well, you know what? Had a nice day yesterday with my husband. We've been going out to lunch on Saturdays, exploring restaurants in our city that we haven't been to before. We went to the local brewery. There were many dogs in there, and
Oh yes, love that.
I'm a dog person living with 2 cats, and I love my cats, but I'm a dog person. So anytime I see dogs, I'm just excited. And my husband likes to make fun of me because I'll look at a dog and the dog immediately wants to come to me.
Yes,
and
yes.
and it will yank its owner. Dogs know
They
when you're a
know.
dog
They can sense. They can
person.
sense your doggy
Yeah.
soul.
So I pet a couple dogs. I had a beer. I had some good lunch. I had some French onion soup, which I've been really
I love
kind of
onions.
jonesing for. It's been a cold winter in the Northeast,
Mm.
and French onion soup has been tasty. Today, I'm happy to be here with you guys. I got my Earl Grey tea. I got my Reddit mug from New York City.
Yeah, you went and talked to Reddit on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
No. This is a mug from a while back.
Oh, okay.
Reddit had me come talk to them as a moderator of some of the bigger science subs, so that was fun. But they gave me this. This is the heaviest mug I've ever picked up. Look at how thick the walls are.
It looks like it was thrown by a giant.
So I'm good today. After this, I'll go to the gym and then maybe play some video games.
All right.
Some Core Keeper, some Grand Theft Auto 5, waiting on 6 to come out whenever.
Oh,
you know. How about you, Amanda? What's bugging you?
This is going to be a first world problem. But all of my library books keep coming available at the same time.
How many library books are you looking to read?
So I have this app, Libby. Please look up if your local library is attached to Libby at all. But it's an app where you can download ebooks and audiobooks and keep them for the 20 days that you would get for a library. But right there on your book, on your phone. So convenient. So directly to me. I also live literally 2 blocks from a library, so I'm very fortunate that way that I can just walk over there with my children. But what I do is it gives you like a hold estimate. Like, here, hold this book. It'll become available in 6 weeks or whatever. So I have staggered several books of like, okay, this one will be available in 1 week, this one in 2 weeks, this one in 6 weeks, so that I can have books coming to me. But then all those hold estimates are just based off of how long it usually takes someone to read that book.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently everyone read all their books and gave them all back at the same time. And now I keep like having to borrow and then return books to get back in line so it will come in 6 weeks. It's a first world problem for sure.
That is quite the first world problem.
But it's just like hurting me to like get a book.
I have too many books available to me.
I know, right? Why a first world problem? But it's like, it hurts me to have like, okay, I've been waiting for this book, but I'm in the middle of this other book and I only get 2 hours a day to listen to audiobooks. Also, I cheat and listen to audiobooks, but
it's not cheating. Yeah. Some people can't, due to visual issues or other issues, can't read a physical book. So audiobooks are books.
I enjoy narrative in all forms, including audiobook. But audiobook is just easier for me because then I can do other tasks. And I only have so much time when the children aren't around to do tasks. So I have to audiobook and do tasks at the same time.
I listen to audiobooks while I drive, while I exercise, while I do chores around the house. And podcasts. But a lot of audiobooks. Especially about subjects I don't want to read. There are some topics I really don't want to open a hard book at and look at, but I'm happy to listen to.
The very subject of this, I could feel my eyes sliding over words and not taking any of the information.
What book are you currently reading now?
Last night I finished a book
recommend?
called that I could recommend. I just restarted Percy Jackson because I finished the TV show. So I was like, well, I'll go back and, read the books. Because I read the books when they were fresh, but I only made it a couple books in before I reached where he had written to. So I stopped reading them. But now there's like a whole universe of these books. And
So
I
you
was like,
can
well,
go back and
and have 12 books at my disposal. So I also am rereading it to see if I could successfully read it to my son and have him not have nightmares. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's above his pay grade.
a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't need to turn this into a pro Percy Jackson podcast, but but like he beheads monsters and stuff. So
oh yeah, and your guy's a little too little.
He's slightly too
for that,
little
right?
for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I tell you, I hurt my own feelings the other day about Ted.
No, how?
This could probably leave the podcast, but I looked up when he can register for kindergarten, and the answer is anytime, and I cried.
Oh,
like, my baby is a
ready
man.
for school.
He's a man. Yeah. So,
well, it was going to happen eventually, and think of all the fun stuff you'll get to talk to him about when he like gets to go to school and then comes home. And
I mean, the hard part about there's so many hard parts about school, but one of the hard parts about school is that this is going to be, I don't get to control what his influences are at school. Like if he befriends the kid that's super into Gundam Wing, I'm going to hear nothing but Gundam Wing when he comes home because Billy Bob told me about Gundam Wing today, mama. And I'm going to be like, okay, tell me all about Gundam Wing. I anticipate it won't be Gundam Wing. It'll be, I mean, he's a Lego and Minecraft boy. So
yeah. I don't know
assume
what
he'll find another Lego
children
and
are
Minecraft
into
boy.
right now, but yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. It just,
eventually you'll be able to read Percy Jackson to him, and maybe it'll be Percy Jackson, and maybe he can spread that to the other kids.
Oh my gosh. Right? When I taught at the after school program in 2020, so right before the big sick hit, there was this group of girls who were so obsessed with Percy Jackson that they would call each other by their fake like goddess names. And like cute. Would not answer unless you spoke to them as Anya, daughter of Athena, I need you to come wash your hands. Like the whole thing. They were.
Oh, that's funny and cute.
One of the classroom rewards I did was like, hey, I'll get the first 3 books of Percy Jackson and put them in the classroom library if we can earn enough points. And they were like foaming at the mouth for me to do that. So
that's great. I love reading. I love mythology, so I love getting kids into that. I think it's good for them.
I think you could read Percy Jackson and enjoy it being a myth kid who grew
up. I have not read it. I'm an adult myth
or
kid.
You could the Disney Plus show was pretty good. I will say that all this is going to have to get removed. That tonally the Disney Plus show was very different. The books are very sassy, very smart alecky. But the show was a lot more serious because it is very serious subject matter. Because his mom gets taken by Hades and all of
that. It's a big deal.
It's a little bit of a serious subject. They didn't want to make light of his mom's dead, but he's making jokes about cake. They don't want to do that. The books are a lot more smart alecky. But I think it's really interesting that the Percy Jackson books, the opening lines of the book are, "Do you not fit in because your brain isn't right?" Every demigod has ADHD and dyslexia. It's this really interesting sort of if you're neurospicy, consider that you might not be of this earth.
Well, I don't know. I've mixed feelings about that because we should want neurospicy folks to feel normal. Right. there is no normal, so we're all, we're all of. I say that as a neurospicy myself.
As a neurospicy.
It's not like I'm speaking.
It made my younger brother, who read it when it was fresh and he was at the right age demo at the time. He was 10 and these books were coming out about 11-year-olds. It made him feel seen.
Yeah, I could see that.
And the guy who wrote it, Rick Riordan, his oldest son, he wrote it with his oldest son as the inspiration, and his oldest son was struggling with those things at the time. So.
Yeah. Well, as an adult myth kid, I am wrapping up a book called Golden King of the Forest, and it is
Oh,
all about bear mythology in
wow.
Northern Europe.
That sounds awesome.
It's very cool. And the author talks. The author is, I think he's an anthropologist, and he talks first a little bit about bear biology. And
Mhm.
I'm always very critical when a non-biologist writes about. I'm like, well,
Well,
and he did an okay like couple paragraphs. So today we have I
a
think a
bug I'm
pretty
not familiar with.
interesting bug. So they're
Mhm.
called robber flies. That's family Asilidae. You've never heard of a robber fly?
I think I've heard the name, but I
Mhm.
don't think I've ever like encountered one to the point where I was like, "There it is, a rubber fly. Let me observe it." Like I've never done that.
Oh, they're kind of cool. So there's around 7,000. There's more than 7,000
Oh,
species
it's so many kinds.
of
So many
robber fly.
kinds.
I know it blows your mind every time I
Every
tell you.
time I'm like, "Wow."
Some there's like more more species than others in certain taxa or groups, and there are around 1,000 native to North America alone. Yeah,
So it's likely I have seen one and I just don't know it.
you've definitely seen them. So robber flies have long bodies, long abdomens,
Okay.
generally. So regular little head, two compound eyes. They've got sort of a space between the eye, and it's covered in little bristles, and it makes a little
Oh,
beard. They have the cutest little bearded faces.
like a little like a little Spartan.
Yeah, kind of like a little
Like a little
Spartan.
mohawk to beard situation.
Yeah, they're super cute. It's called the Mystax. Is the this sort of space. I keep
Mhm.
touching where between my
Touching
eyes
your
and my
face, yeah.
nose.
Your little
Listeners can't see me trying to describe this, but
One of these days
um,
we'll have to do you describe a bug and I try to draw that bug based only on your description of the bug.
what I'm doing with my hands.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be fun. But yeah, so they have all these little bristles on their faces, and they look like little grandpas with a beard.
Oh,
Adorable.
little
Do we
grumbles.
do we have I think we have photos in the robber fly. Maybe if Derek can throw a photo in the recording chat for
Chat.
Amanda to see.
Yeah, I'll throw one of those in just a moment.
They're super duper cute. So they have all these bristles and hairs on their face, and it's to help protect them from struggling prey, because robber flies are active hunters.
So he has like a like a don't touch me, don't punch me in the face barrier.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Derek put a image link in the private chat if you want to
Okay,
clicky on
here.
that.
I clicky. Oh yeah, he is cute. But he does have an old man face.
He does have a little, very much
He's
a beard, old white beard.
the one I'm looking at is very yellow and orange, and then
Oh,
he has
okay.
this
Make
almost turkey-esque beard situation beneath his head.
clicking on that link too. Oh, okay, yeah. So Derek has shared this particular genus likes to pretend they are bumblebees. Our friend Bumble.
I was
So
gonna say he's
laugh
very
at the
Bumble-esque, this
genus.
one, because he's so yellow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay, here we go. Yes, I've definitely seen these guys around.
yeah,
They
long
are very
abdomens.
fly. Yeah, it's kind of if a dragonfly and a housefly
Yeah,
had a
had a baby.
baby.
Had a very um, fast predatory baby.
Yeah, they look fast. Just looking at him, he is speed. I can tell just by looking.
Usually, when you look at an insect's wings, depending how narrow they are, is how fast they're going to be. So, picture we know
Mm.
dragonflies are very fast; they have long, narrow wings. And Asilidae, the rubber flies, all have quite long, narrow wings when you compare them to other flies. And other flies are also pretty quick. They give your house flies fairly fast. But these guys are like the jet planes
The
of the
Lightning
flies.
McQueens.
Yeah.
Derek's gonna hate that I said that.
That's Cars, right? Is Derek
That's Cars. That's Cars.
anti-Cars?
hmm
Um,
Pixar's money grab franchise,
oh
and
yeah,
gosh darn it, did it work?
yeah. I remember my best friend's son just was nonstop Cars when he was a super little dude. I would go to their house and he would just be always Cars was on.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, I don't need to get into like the if you're going to make artistic movies, every now and then you got to make a movie that all it does is make money and it didn't take a lot of effort to do.
Yeah, that's
blah,
fine.
Blah, blah. That's business.
I think of Vin Diesel, who is actually a big fantasy nerd man, who did like all the Riddick movies, and he plays Dungeons and Dragons. But he makes Fast and the Furious to fund the other fun movies that he wants to do. Nothing against Fast and the Furious.
Nothing against Fast and Furious. Also very good.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna make Soul, sometimes you have to make Cars 27.
But he said in interviews that Fast and the Furious funds his fantasy movies. So I'm all right with it. Anyway, so robber flies are what was it? Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen of the fly world. They have this their mouth part is interesting. It's sort of like a long needle, but it's short. It's not like a mosquito, where we think of mosquitoes have very long proboscis. Yeah. These guys have a short, thick one, and it's used to stab the prey, inject it with a neurotoxin and digestive enzymes.
Oh,
so like a spider.
Eaten from the inside.
Yeah, and then it's also a little tube, and he uses it like a straw to then suck up the liquefied
So it's pretty quick. It's a fast, you've become liquefied now thing. Whereas a spider, I always imagine that they have to wait, a few hours. Is a spider quick?
Spider's pretty quick too. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It kind of depends on the species and what's in there. But it doesn't really take that long. It's probably just a few minutes. And then you're ready to like suck the bug goop out of your fresh catch. They're really neat little guys and gals. Amanda's making a horrified face.
I didn't know we were doing it. So many bugs eat each other from the inside out.
When you don't have chewing mouth parts, you gotta do it that way, right? Not every bug can
who was it we were talking about?
Katydids and grasshoppers have chompies. We just talked about
katydids
in the last episode. So these guys don't. So they have a little straw.
They have the short,
stabby
strong straw. They just stab into you, inject with venom, and then slurp your insides out.
When I was writing the show notes for this, as I was thinking about this sort of feeding mechanism, and it reminded me of taking that straw and slamming it into a Capri Sun.
Oh, yeah. The Capri Sun also works. I was gonna say boba straw just
or boba because it's thicker.
The thickum one. Yeah, it's big because it's got to get those tapioca balls. And that is very violent. I've seen.
You have to be violent to get the Capri Sun to work too. Otherwise, It just explodes in your hands.
They've improved the Capri Sun method so much. When I was a kid, it was like just straight up tinfoil over the little, and you're like stabbing into it with all your little third grade strength, and then of course you finally get it, and it goes right through the back, and you're like, why?
And then a Capri Sun shoots out of the straw into everywhere. Your face as soon as you
Mm-hmm.
That's been my experience as a child.
Capri Sun technology. Now it's like a nice thin little foil, and you can gently
anyone can get it in there.
Put that mosquito needle nose right into it. We're talking boba though, where it's like sealed on the top, and you have to like
you gotta really go for it.
Get it in there.
Yeah, he's got a thick little mouth straw. Yeah, think about it like a boba straw. Yeah.
Some things that are clearly packaged for the packager and not for the person who has to open this item. Boba, I feel, is one of those.
Yeah. Lucky for the robber fly, though, they are well equipped. They have like fleshy little feeties. I'm making little like witch grabby hands in the monitor here, and it's for gripping. It helps them grip prey, grip whatever they're going to hang out on. There's I think it's Epheria is the genus. They love to hang out on people. So if you have an Epheria species of robber fly, because they want to hang out either completely horizontal or vertical, and humans, we're great little perches.
Yeah, we're skyscrapers of perchability.
I've had one land on my arm before and just hang out, and at first you raise your hand because you think, oh no, is this a horse fly?
Right.
It's gonna bite me. But if you stop and look and you see that long tapered abdomen, that's a robber fly, and they're not going to bite you. They don't want to deal with people.
So how big are they?
About 2 inches.
Oh, so they are decently sized.
Yeah, they can be a little bit smaller too, but around 2 inches, which is 5 centimeters for everyone else in the world.
For everyone not using freedom units.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, which is why they're a little bit frightening if they land on you, because you think, oh boy, a 2-inch fly might be some bad business, but they can bite, and you can imagine their bite sucks because they're doing the same thing to you that they would do to, they're stabbing you, and they're probably not trying to put digestive enzymes in you, but they're hurting you. Yeah, they're
you are about 2 inches.
Gonna hurt. Yeah, I've heard they're very painful, very, very painful. But it takes, you got to like make them bite you.
Right?
You got to like squish him.
I mean, he's not an idiot. He knows there's clearly no chance of him digesting you.
Yeah, it's a bad move to bite a tree. Moving.
Basically, yes. That ant over there, I think I'll go piss him off, Yeah.
For here in the Northeast, we have Euphoria aestuans, which is, again, that kind of human percher you'll notice. Most of them are brown, white, like white-tipped, black. They kind of blend in with the surroundings because they're ambush predators. A few of them are mimics. Melliphora ruficata is a bumblebee mimic, kind of like the photo I sent you, but I think that was a different genus. That was Lafria, I think. And then what's the other one? There's another species that mimics the tarantula hawk, which is a wasp. And that is, do you remember why they do that? Why would you mimic a wasp?
A wasp, previously we had hawk moth, and she mimicked them to get in there. So that she could
get in with the bees.
Yeah, get in with the bees.
Why else would you want to look like a wasp?
Oh no, is it so that you can lay things on them? I don't know. I'm worried now.
Oh, don't be worried. Sorry, I don't mean to pop quiz you on a Sunday morning. It's because wasps are scary.
Oh yeah, well that makes perfect. Okay, yeah. I see now.
It's a protective measure. It says I might be a wasp.
Right. That seems to be a lot of people's camouflage as well. Like, I might be. I personally am not poisonous, but are you willing to take the chance that I am?
Do you want to risk that I'm a venomous little chompy?
Because there's like that
there's
Viceroy.
Lots of wasp mimics. Oh yeah, the Viceroy, which mimics our friend the monarch.
Yeah, which is such a funny little pun to me.
It is cute.
Who did this? I know one of you history nerds named these butterflies.
The biologists being funny,
Bug biologists name things hilariously, and meanwhile,
who says we don't have good sense of humor? There are there's like lots of David Attenborough bugs. Yeah. There is
there's a David Bowie spider.
There's a David Bowie spider. There are several presidents who have been made into bugs of varying degrees.
Do you like that president or hate that
of flattery or unflattery?
I named this deep sea blobfish after you.
Yeah. We are not we're not going to talk about what presidents.
No, we're not a political podcast.
But, don't ask. But you can probably assume our politics if you really thought about it. But
based on what cars we drive.
Come look at my new Subaru Crosstrek. Guess who? Yeah. Well, anyway,
probably gonna have to cut that. Sorry, Derek.
That's all right. Anyway, yeah. So they come in. They're, like I said, they're mostly colors to blend in their surroundings. There's in Japan, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. I'm not used to Japanese names. Shiyoya Abu, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's different inflections on parts of that.
Yeah, the emphasis might be different.
Yeah, I tried, guys. I even listened to it, but I can't get my mouth to do like the thing. Anyway, it's called, in the common name, it's called the salt merchant horsefly, which is the cutest little name. And it's because it has a tiny white tip on its abdomen, and it looks like it's just carrying around a little grain of salt.
That's so cute. He's like, here I am with my salt, my emotional comfort salt cube that I carry around with me.
So he's called the salt merchant horsefly in Japan, and it's just adorable. There's all kinds. One of the bumblebee mimics lives in South and Central America. For you guys in the Western U.S., you've got Lafria Fernaldi. So many of these guys don't have common names.
Hold on. I think your microphone's going cray cray for a second there.
Better?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Sorry. So a lot of these flies don't have common names, and it's probably because there's 7,000 species or more.
Right. How do you possibly name everybody?
Not all bugs get a common name. Australia, of course, has one of the largest known robber flies called the giant yellow robber fly.
Of course, Australia.
Hats off to you Aussies and your mega bugs. And then, like most of Europe, there's the stripe-legged robber fly. So these guys are everywhere. They're all over the place.
They just have a good design that has work.
Asia. Yeah, there are. And you'll see that with a lot of types of bugs. They're just kind of found everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So we talked about how they look.
Yeah, so far they have a knife on their front, a beard, yes. and like a crane, those like grabby crane games.
Oh yeah, for legs. Yeah. Very funny. And long very long abdomens.
Very long, yes. So what are they hunting? If they're only 2 inches long, I assume they're doing other bugs.
Oh, they're hunting other bugs. I don't like to say prefer. I'll get hand swatted.
They have success with.
Yes. Generally other flying insects.
So they're taken right out of the air?
Right out of the air. It's really cool. It's like this dog fight between insects. And really, what I thought was super cool reading about these guys is they will fight dragonflies.
Oh, see, because I thought they looked like a dragonfly. It turns out,
And you figure a dragonfly is larger. A dragonfly is maybe...
Yeah, they're chunky boys.
2.5, 3, 4 inches, depending on the species. Some of them are quite big.
A dragonfly looks delicate, if that makes sense. Like, to me, being much, much larger than a dragonfly.
Yeah.
A dragonfly looks delicate.
I think the damselflies look delicate.
Yeah, damselflies
dragonflies
are
a little...
delicate.
Check out our Dashing Duo episode for dragonflies and damselflies.
I don't know, something about that long, thin body just seems so snappable to me.
It does, but so aerodynamic.
I don't feel that way about the robber fly. Something about the way it's tapered feels stronger somehow.
They feel thicker to me, more robust. Yeah. But they will often fight each other, and the victory goes either way.
Oh, really?
Which sometimes is pretty cool. Ooh. Yeah. I love to think about that as like two dragons fighting each other, like you've got these beefy bugs going at it, these prehistoric animals, almost like dinosaurs fighting midair. Because dragonflies to me always feel so prehistoric. And robber flies look a little prehistoric too. But it's cool. So they'll go for anything. They'll go for stuff on the ground if it's open and they can just grab them. So anything, spiders.
Rest here, would you? Nope.
Yeah, they're really cool. So we usually talk a little bit about life cycle. Females will oviposit, which means laying their eggs, in grasses or in plants that are lower to the ground, sometimes in soil, bark, wood, kind of whatever they can sneak them in. They can be laid alone in like little single bits or in clusters. Some of the clusters are like 300. Of course, they're not all going to make it, right? We know that about when you make a whole lot of babies, a few will make it to adulthood. And I'm pretty sure it only takes them a few hours to hatch if they're anything like other flies. So most flies will lay an egg and that will hatch in like 8 to 20 hours, depending on species.
That's
flies in general.
That's wild. I've never thought about that before. You know,
unless they're a hibernating species, but yeah.
You know, a fly only lives 8 days, only lives 24 hours. It's like, of course their egg cycle is really fast.
It's got to be.
Like, it never occurred to me that, like, I could lay an egg in the morning and it would be a fly by that evening.
An adult by the evening? Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, you see the jokes about that all the time, but, like, to really put it in, like...
To think about it.
Yeah. No wonder, like, you have one moth and all of a sudden you've got 20 moths
20
in your
moths,
house.
yeah. Oh, the little pantry moths?
Yeah.
The annoying pantry moths. We've got those too, yeah. But these guys are a little bit different. Their eggs will hatch pretty quick, but then it might take a year to 3 years to become a full adult because they overwinter as pupae. So they'll lay like in the fall. Their eggs will hatch kind of quick. That little larvae has got to get eaten. The larvae are carnivorous.
Of course they are. Of course they are. These guys are eating from start to finish.
They're active hunters. Some of them will eat on detritus, which is like decaying plant matter. But they're really looking for other slower larvae in whatever substrate they've been laid in. A lot of them are parasitoids for beetle larvae, and we know beetle larvae are like thick.
Those grubby dudes.
Grubby dudes.
Like a real nasty little grubby dude.
A baby robber fly kind of looks like a grub, but they're skinny. They're like long and white, and they don't have legs. They don't even have like the pseudo legs you'll see in caterpillars and stuff. Caterpillars, you can see the front real legs too, but the back, so they're called pseudopods or pseudopoda. So a robber fly egg, well, you've seen maggots, right?
Yes.
They look kind of like maggots. But
okay,
I would say like
robber fly's whole thing is that he's taking someone else's basic shape and he's just like adjusted it a little bit, just a little bit this way.
And he's going out and he's eating other bugs, and he's parasitizing beetles, and then they eventually pupate when they're ready. But these guys, and this is the case for many but not all flies, their pupae are mobile. So
what?
Yeah, they can move, and they do. So this
metapod jerk is walking around.
Yeah.
I assume once he's pupated, he's not eating.
He's not eating, but he's moving. He's figuring out kind of
like a jumping bean.
Oh yeah, I guess kind of like a jumping bean.
He's just beaning around.
So if he's in the soil, he's going to start making his or her way up into the upper layers of the soil when they're ready to become an adult. This way they can emerge as a ready to go robber fly. But a lot of fly pupae are completely mobile, moving around, wiggling around, doing their thing. Think about our mosquito episode, right? When I talked about their pupae, and that even though they're not eating, they're swimming. They they'll hang out on the surface, and then they'll swim away when the predators come. They do like little inchy. They kind of roll. They're called rollers.
It's so funny, like how what this exposes about my assumptions about bugs, because like what it really exposes is what bugs I'm the most familiar with, and the answer so far is like consistently, butterflies, that sort of stuff.
It's the only bugs anyone wants to be associated.
Right? They're so nice. Who doesn't love a butterfly? But like, so much of my assumptions about how bugs work is based off of the butterfly being the superior. Like that's how they do it. They lay an egg, they eat. They become a chrysalis. They're a butterfly. They don't last very long. Like that's the life cycle of bug in my basic little brain here. So when the bugs do something that's not that, when they can move around, because like a butterfly is like straight up goo in there. He's not moving around.
He's not moving. Yeah, they're not doing anything. That chrysalis isn't moving. It is just kind of stuck to whatever it was stuck to.
Right.
A twig or a leaf or whatever. Yeah. This guy's on the move.
I can't believe it. That's wild that he's.
They're cool though, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really neat. But like, it does give them a very ominous sort of like, he's coming. Even when he's pupating, he can't be stopped.
Yeah. It's like a little Terminator.
Yes,
like
he's cute little all of your
Terminator
larva.
They're hunters. I mean, when you think about a robber fly, you're really thinking about a hunter. They probably have pretty good eyesight. They've got sort of that wraparound compound eye structure. They've got to be making sort of quick decisions in flight to catch like moving prey. So they're not, that takes a lot of calculation. I think when you're trying to triangulate yourself in motion with another bug also in motion, perhaps moving away from you, there's a lot going. And I'm not going to say it's intelligence because it's not, but there's a lot happening.
Intelligence isn't quite the right word, but there's a lot of action happening.
Cognitive ability, maybe, but
tiny, those synapses, they're so small, but they're firing.
Yeah. And there's probably quite a bit dedicated to sight. We know with a lot of jumping spiders use sight as their main, sort of their main skill, if you will. And they have large neurons specifically for sight. So there's a lot going on with these active hunting bugs. And I think robber flies are probably no exception. So if you want to talk about their superpowers, and I think they have quite a few, as you design. Before I talk about superpowers, what are you thinking what kind of superhero are you designing out of the robber fly?
I know we just did a kind of D&D-esque character last week with Katie did, but now that I know that he fights dragonflies, I feel like I want to put him in that same universe. And we did like a sort of rogue-esque character with dragonfly and damselfly. So I kind of want to make him like a thief character that fits into that sort of space. I'm happy to not do that if you're like, no, we just did Katie did. She was a druid and we can't have that many D&Ds. But I don't want to, shove us into the pocket of always being mainstream superheroes.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. I know producer Derek is recommending Evil Bumblebee because they mimic bees, but only a few of them mimic bumblebees. Most of them don't. So I feel like that would be pigeonholing a very large group into when only a couple of them really mimic Bumble. As much as we love Dusty. Dusty the Bumblebee. Episode Fuzzy Friend, if you haven't listened to the Bumblebee episode yet. We have a big enough back catalog now where I could start
reference ourselves.
old episodes. Yeah, maybe him fighting the dashing duo is kind of fun. He could be like a bad guy. Yeah. The enemy of the dashing duo.
I love when we connect.
Sometimes wins, sometimes loses.
Sometimes wins, sometimes loses. That's the best kind of nemesis. If the hero always wins, it's not as exciting.
Yeah.
But alternatively, if it's like the bad guy's undefeatable, that's also not great.
That would be. I can't think of a bug that's undefeatable because everything gets eaten by something else.
Circle of life.
Yeah. Even though sometimes it's a bird.
Yes, that's true.
Or it's
we gotta get you to watch Bug's Life.
Sometimes it's a wasp.
I mean, I think given that he mimics both wasps and bumbles, I think we can assume that part of his power set is, some sort of illusionary, mimicry power.
I think so. I have toxic saliva as a as a superpower.
What a sentence!
Well, you know what? It reminds me of our least favorite Spider-Man, Miguel.
I mean, it's because his power set is so cool, but he's the worst.
Yeah.
Every choice he makes, I'm like, Miguel, why?
Miguel is really the worst. But he could have like a venom bite like Miguel. If you want to go that route. Obviously mimicry. So it's Wilea mitis that mimics the tarantula hawk wasp. And then a few of the Lafreas mimic bumblebees. Have we talked about halteres before? I don't think we have. Maybe we have.
I don't recognize the word. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So flies are all part of the group, the order Diptera, which means 2 wings. When we think about other flying insects, they have 4 wings, right? Your your issue with with bees and their 4 wings.
Yes, because they line up too cleanly. I think it's only 2.
Yeah, we have dragonflies and damselflies.
Yes.
Butterflies and moths, all 4 wings.
Mm-hmm.
The default flight state for bugs is 4 wings.
Yes.
So what happened to flies that they only have 2? So instead of that second pair of wings has changed into something called a haltere.
Those little gyroscope.
Yes, yeah. They work like they're like little nubbins. Where Men and I are both like making nubbins out of our fingers
with our little arms.
Yeah, we're like little T-Rex arms for halteres. But they sit behind the 4 wings, and they work like gyroscopes. They kind of let that fly know where it is in the air, what position its body is in.
Yeah, biological altimeters.
I think they might also sense humidity. I think there were a couple papers about that. And what's cool, usually they're kind of clear like a wing. They don't have a lot of color to them. But in the bee mimics, they're bright yellow. They look like they're carrying pollen grains.
Of course. Genius.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
The level of mimicry is off the charts.
The detail. That just blew me away looking at photos of the different Laphria species with these gorgeous bright yellow halteres. Listeners, do yourself a favor and Google Laphria, Laphria, robber fly, and then look for those little golden yellow halteres. I know the USGS has photos that are, I believe, copyright free, so maybe we can put a couple up on the Instagram when we put this episode out, which so everyone can look at photos, because I think Derek has a photo of a robber fly, but it's a regular one that's not a mimic, and I don't think I have any photos of robber flies. I'll have to look around, but yeah, so maybe we can start using some of these copyright-free USGS images because they're amazing. Also, whoever writes the descriptions is hysterical. There was one let's see, what's the photo Derek sent? Did this one have a weird description?
I mean,
oh yeah, you should appreciate the fact that the species is measured in millimeters. You make USGS has a bunch of cheeky little descriptions under all of their photos. So maybe we can start playing with those because they're great.
That's hilarious.
And they have incredible photos. Beautiful. Way better than I can take because they're using microscopes. And I'm using my phone. So I do the best I can, guys. I don't have the money to buy a good setup, but I would love to.
$600 macro lens.
Yeah. I have a good camera, but not a macro lens. So we talked about mimicry. Oh, deception. So this one.
Deception.
This one's for the couples out there. So
just
the Valentine's Day. Although this episode I think will be after Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
males initiate mating by just grabbing a lady mid-flights. Just grab her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's not interested, she will play dead. Just goes completely limp. And he's not getting the proper stimuli to say, oh, I can mate with you. So he just drops her. Consent. Bug consent, I guess.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember. I think we've talked before. There was one other bug that did this that was just kind of nope.
No,
can't mate with me. I'm a corpse. So
if you've ever been on a bad date and you just have to completely shut your brain off.
I have horrible food poisoning and have to leave immediately.
Yeah.
So long.
Sorry about that.
Grandma has unfortunately passed away, and I must go comfort my mother this very moment. So long.
This is the second time my grandmother has passed away this week. I have to go. I can't do this.
She died and then miraculously returned, and then this time for sure they think it's going to stick, so I gotta go. Yeah, she just... I
mean,
the things we'll do to get out of a bad date,
It's pretty incredible. Yeah. But good for her. Good for her for making a decision and saying no thanks.
Nope. Out of here.
They also have a bit of some sort of toxin protection. So a lot of robber flies will attack bugs that have chemical protectors. So like a stink bug, they put out a nasty odor. Some bugs may have sort of a caustic liquid, like maybe like our friend Ladybug, episode 1, Yellow Blooded Hero, with the bleeding knees, because their blood is a little caustic.
Yeah.
Robber flies don't care. They don't care. You can use all these caustic things, and they go whatever, eating you anyway.
Sound horrible. Like not like like ugh, wait, but just like he's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
When he's a baby, he's in you. He's eating you. And then when you think you're safe because he's cozied up in his sleeping bag. Wrong. That sleeping bag is on the move and he's coming for you.
He's getting ready. Yeah.
He's getting ready. All he's doing is he was studying the blade.
The whole time the robber fly was studying the blade.
Studying the blade. And then he comes out and he's like grabbing anything.
Anything. They also have all these interesting spines on their legs, and part of that helps hold prey too, almost like a little cage. And it's off-putting the predators because it's spiky. But yeah, they're kind of the ultimate little predator there. Obviously, flight. They've got 2 wings. They know how to use them. They can fly. They're a fly. And speed. Like I said, these guys are super fast. Amazing predators. If you ever get the chance to watch one hunt, slow down, make a stop, just watch. They're cool. They're really cool. I've watched them fly around and grab prey in midair, and it's super neat. I just don't have any photos of it. Oh, what a charmed life I live watching bugs eat each other.
You know what I could go for right now? It's some carnage on a bugular scale.
Yeah. It's a good time. So how is our hero? I guess in this case he's a villain.
I think he's a villain for sure.
How's our villain doing? Except for humans, because we love him. Because he doesn't hurt us. Yeah.
Well,
and he eats pests. He's in your garden. He's eating the bad bugs. He's eating the biting flies that want to bite you. So for us, he's a good guy.
I feel like he's got a very like chaotic energy of like,
yeah.
Like he just like you could meet him somewhere and be like, "Hey man, we need your help because you're such a skilled. You're so good at what you do. We need your help." But like the whole time he's in your party, you're worried he's gonna backstab you.
I feel like he's also highly caffeinated.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. And like, it's not that he's gonna turn on you out of malice. It's just what he does.
Yeah.
He sees an opportunity and he takes it with like no regard into like what's this gonna look like in 2 hours for you,
right?
If you make this choice now. And he's like, it does not matter. I want that treasure. I'm killing the whole party so I can get that treasure.
I need that thing. Yeah, I'm hungry.
I need it. You know, like, oh well, he had a better deal than you. I already paid you. You're on my team. Yeah, but he's got a better deal than you. So like, sorry. It's not like he's like evil. It's just that he's so opportunistic that it becomes evil.
Yeah. I like that.
It's like untrustworthy to the extreme degree.
So if he were a D&D character, he would be chaotic neutral.
Yes.
I think.
Well, like chaotic neutral that by the time the campaign ends, he's done so many evil acts out of just pure opportunity.
He's moved into chaotic evil.
Every paladin in the party is like, that dude's evil. He's like, I promise you I'm not. My alignment has not changed. Only your perception of my alignment has changed.
I would love I want to play a D&D game where we all pick a bug.
Oh my god.
Base our character on a bug. Listeners, do you want to play this with me? Because I want to do this.
That would be
I think
so
it would
good.
be a great time.
So
if we do a Patreon, we could do that.
We should, yeah. That would be a very fun Patreon.
Yeah.
So I've given him one short knife, for his signature move of just
stabbing,
getting you, just getting you.
It's one of those knives with the blood grooves. Because it's got
yes. Like it's like stupid. Like that doesn't improve the knife at all. But like, dang, does it look so good? Oh, I gotta erase they have a knife blade here and make it a Jafar knife.
No, the blood groove is that thing in the center of the blade. Yeah, where it just comes open, and it's kind of amazing.
Okay, there we go. And so I've given him so I looked at damselfly and dragonfly, and they're both wearing like these little flight caps. So I gave him my favorite flight cap, which is the flight cap that has like the fur square in the front.
And how fitting because of his fuzzy little face.
So I gave him that one. I gave him a beard, obviously.
He needs a beard.
Sort of snow goggle-esque thin little goggles, just to kind of
their eyes are a little more narrow.
Yeah, it's kind of a different look than D&D over there. I've given him kind of a crouching, sinister posture. He's got one hand ready to grab you. And then I've also given him like shadow hands that will also grab you.
I like it. Does that make the 6 limbs?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Very cool.
1, 2, 3. It makes 6 arms. If you don't count his legs, it's the correct amount. So we're just not going to count his legs because I think it looks better when he has 4 shadow hands taking up the space.
Producer Derek has given us a sad emoji.
Oh, sad boy!
He
wants me to raise 2 arms. Okay, I can.
Producer Derek has been mad about multiple arms in the past. I remember this.
I know, but like, is it multiple? Are we counting by arms or are we counting by limbs? And sometimes you gotta count by arms just for the aesthetic. But I will erase 2 hands. Hold on.
We'll go by limbs. We'll be a little more accurate. He sounds fantastic so far. Robberfly might rival Bumblebee for my love of small flying things because I think they're so cool. Yeah, and they're very cool.
All right, I gotta figure out a way to. Okay, let me look up a picture of a robberfly here real fast.
Yeah,
we need some. I think he needs buckles. Buckles are sinister. Everyone, that's what Final Fantasy taught me.
Buckles are sinister.
Buckles.
And the robberfly might be sort of sacred to the Hopi people in North America. Yeah, which I thought was very cool. So they have something called Kachina dolls. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yes, I'm familiar with Kachina dolls.
And they they personify benevolent spirits. And one of them they've modeled after a robberfly. So for whatever reason, I'm not quite 100% sure what the characteristics they want from the robberfly, but they've made Kachina dolls that look like them, which is super cool. And they have a god called Kokopelli, and he's the god of childbirth and agriculture.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at one now.
For
That's
the Hopi.
So cool.
Yeah, their costumes are very cool. And he may have been modeled after the desert robberfly. There's been some anthropological studies discussing that, which I thought was very, very cool. And you can find Kokopelli on lots of cave art in the Hopi region of North America. So super, super cool that they're an important part of indigenous mythology and religion. Oh, Derek is sharing photos from Kevin of All Bugs Go to Kevin of robberflies. Oh, here's one where it looks like he's grabbed a yellow jacket. Wow. And this guy's kind of orange with black wings.
Yeah, that's a very good look.
Yeah, his face is less fuzzy than some of the other ones. Oh, that bottom one is cool. Looks like he's got not a corpse fly. Now I can't remember what they're called, but they're small and red. No, they're not just flies.
Oh,
I can remember.
Kevin says that it's a flesh fly.
Flesh. Yeah, flesh was what I said corpse, and I was thinking of flesh. Yeah,
I mean they eat corpses, so that is kind of what they do.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I guess same thing, different colloquial speech, but yeah, so flesh flies. Oh, that last one is it's a little creepy looking.
He's coming for you.
Look at his bristles. Yeah. But I think they're very neat. Very neat bugs.
I think their little tiny antennae are so funny.
They have short, stumpy little antennae.
Stumpy. Like so many bugs have like the long, I sense the world with these antennae. I gotta investigate everything with these antennae. But these guys just like
Flies generally have short antennae, and it's probably has to do with being somewhat more aerodynamic. You don't want long tail antennae when you're trying to fly.
Yeah.
So they keep everything kind of short. Although they do have, off of the third segment of their antennae, and I think this is common in a lot of flies, is a bristle, and it's called an arista, and it helps them sense scent, humidity, heat. I don't think we can see any in these photos because it's pretty tiny. You have to like super. Oh no, maybe no, I can see it. So this last image in the Discord, and maybe we'll ask Kevin if we can use one of these in our on our social media, and then I can link to it. But if you look on I think the left, there's sort of this long piece sticking off that one of the antennae in it, that is the arista. And it's just like a little extra sensory organ they have. It's pretty cool.
Arista is such a pretty word for
it is.
Bug face sensor.
Bug face sensor. It's cool though. Yeah, what neat looking flies they are. And again, I love their white beards.
I've given this guy a little bit of, I'm not sure this is a nice term.
Oh boy.
But like serial killer hobo vibes.
It's probably not a term we're allowed to use anymore.
No, I don't think so. But like this guy, he's waiting in the dark for you. That's all I'm gonna say about this.
Yeah, sort of roughed up serial killer vibes.
I gave him short sleeves, and all of a sudden he looks like the was it the scout in, what was that game? Fortress.
Team Fortress.
Team Fortress.
He looks like it's the guy from Team Fortress.
Something about the short sleeve really gave him that energy, you know.
He looks like he looks like a guy who's gonna send a bomb in the mail.
So, yeah, and like it's not personal. Again, it's not personal. This is just business.
It's just business. Yeah. While you're drawing, I guess we can also do the legs.
Yeah. How many legs?
How many legs would you give a robber fly, Amanda? This bug that you knew nothing about.
I knew nothing about.
Going into this
episode. I think he's pure chaos, and I kind of love that. I think he's the best at what he does, and what he does ain't pretty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just can't. Again, I have to come back to. I can't fault him. That's just who he is. You know, he can't. He's not doing it because he's an evil little bug. The way that I think parasaurtoid wasps are a little bit evil, but like this is the hand he's been dealt, and he's just very good at it.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. He's giving me the killer vibes from Netflix.
Yeah.
Who is that actor? Michael Fassbender. Fantastic.
Yes, with all of his teeth.
All of his teeth. Yeah.
Too many teeth in that mouth.
If Robber Fly were to be played by an actor, I think it would be.
Yeah, it's a bearded Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
His career is like crazy, but always so intense. I don't think he's ever played like a laid back guy in
so
anything.
Good.
His energy is just too
very intense. Yeah. So he's Robber Fly for me.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally, I think we choose an actor for the bug, and it's got to be Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna send this to you as it is, and we'll decide what else he needs to make him
sure
amp up. Yeah.
Oh wait, so how many legs then?
Oh. Well, he doesn't bite me.
No.
Unless he does.
Unless you make him.
Unless sometimes
don't push him.
Does.
Don't push him.
But he doesn't want to.
No, we're not interested. He wants to perch on you so he can hunt from you.
I hesitate to be generous because I always hesitate to be generous. But dare I say 6 out of 6 legs. This guy is
very generous. You love this guy.
I never would have guessed. Based on name alone, I never would have been like, yeah, that's the guy. But like, it's just, you know, sometimes you just gotta have a chaos gremlin on your team, and it just keeps things fresh.
Now that I've linked him to Michael Fassbender, I definitely give him 6 out of 6.
Oh yeah.
Because he's an intense bug, and females are just as intense as the males. I like that they want to perch on me and then hunt from me. That's kind of cool. Like, I'm a base of operations for a robber fly sometimes when I'm out in the field. I like it. I love their little faces, their beards. I'm a facial hair lady. My husband is bearded, so maybe that's
true. You do love
maybe that's
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy with the beard.
You're like, oh my gosh.
It's too early in the morning, Amanda. Come on.
I'm sorry. On a Sunday,
on
Amanda.
a Sunday. But yeah, I think 6 out of 6. They're incredible hunters. They don't really want to bite us. They're eating flies that do bite us.
Yes, that is important.
So, that's helpful. And sometimes they win against dragonflies. So that's fun to me.
And I think he doesn't hold any malice against Dragonfly hates this guy. But
he doesn't really care about Dragonfly.
Does not hate Dragonfly back. He's like, "Hey, buddy," and Dragonfly's like, "I'm not your buddy. Last time I saw you, you chopped off one of my legs."
Robber Fly art is.
It's a D&D world, so he got his leg back. He healed it up.
I'm a little concerned about the artwork for Robber Fly.
Really? Oh, dang it. Okay. What can we do? How can we edit him to make him less of a murder vagrant?
Yeah, he's a little frightening. Is that drool?
Yes,
that's drool coming out of his mouth.
His poisonous drool.
He's like he looks
toxic amount of halitosis.
Looks like Rick from Rick and Morty with the.
Oh yeah, it is a little Rick. I don't watch that show, so
with the drool.
Now that you say that, absolutely. It is. It's not kind of the energy, though. It's not kind of the energy.
It's a little bit the energy. I think I would just give him a little bit more to make him look like he's in that D&D world.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
his costume is a little too modern, I think.
All right, let's give him.
Those are my only notes. Yeah, Derek is saying D&D murder hobo, which I think we can't say. We can't say that on the podcast.
We can say that on the podcast. But no, understandable. Okay, so we'll lengthen his sleeves. Get rid of these.
Murder hobo is a D&D term.
It is
murder hobo a D&D term? Okay, then
it's for a type of player that solves all their problems with violence and vagrancy.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing no issue here.
I guess we could say it then.
All right, let's give him some arm wraps. Those bracers, those always make things look.
I think bracers are good for him. The bracers should have some spines.
Yeah.
So remember, he's got spiny limbs.
So often I end up giving these characters, just because they're bugs, the like Batman side gauntlets, just because why does Batman have those? It's not like bats have those.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It just has them because he's a ninja. Is the only answer. And they needed more spikes because they committed to the spikes on his head. Which every now and then Batman's like head ear, they're supposed to be ears, but his little ears get so small. And I think it aesthetically looks much better when he has like Daredevil-esque small little horns.
Yeah.
But it loses bat entirely.
It just looks like Devil.
Like, this is no longer a Batman.
Yeah.
Now you're just a horned man.
Maybe we don't add maybe the spikes are not only on the outside. Maybe they're like sort of around the gauntlets, when you're in high school and you have that goth friend who's got the
the spiked collar,
like around the arm though.
Maybe
something like that. Derek is saying Wolverine claws. They don't have claws though. They have fat little hands. They have like fleshy little grippies. They're not the only claws they have are like the general bug foot with the two little like tarsal claws at the end, but they're short. They're just for gripness. I love that the literature actually describes their little front hands as fleshy, which fleshy little pads. Yeah.
Fleshy little hands.
Just cute. Very cute. Cute for a murder bug,
Adding some miasma to his murder hands magic. Oh, that makes it look slimy.
Oh, we don't. He's not slimy. He's dry. He's a dry bug. Yeah, he doesn't secrete. We will cover some bugs that secrete gnarly things, but not these guys.
There we go. I just need to make it a little bit more jagged. Let's give him let's see what I can. I don't want to pull too much from the. Oh
yeah. Hopi. The Hopi people.
Yeah, I don't want to pull too much from the Hopi imagery just because I don't know what the cultural significance of that is.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't want to use something.
It seems to be in ritual use and maybe as a depiction of one of their gods. So we want to be sensitive
Yeah.
For that. You don't want to depict
really cool looking though.
They are very cool looking. Maybe you could use some of the colors.
Yeah, the colors. I'm trying to see if there's like any general patterning that doesn't feel like purposefully
too specific.
ritualistic. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. This guy's wearing like a little vest. I'll give him a little vest.
A vest works for a thief anyway, because he's got to carry a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Right? He's like he's got to have like little knives in that vest, and maybe a lockpick.
He opens that up instead of
all
like
knives.
It's just all knives. All knives. There we go. And that kind of gives him that tapered shape a little bit more too.
Yeah. Is he looking slightly less burner hobo?
Slightly. I don't know if you can get away with energy that is a man of pure chaos.
It's true.
That it exists in a murder.
I'm afraid he's going to look like the Unabomber, and I don't know that we want that.
No, that's not the look.
We don't want Ted
no hoodies allowed, but pulled all the way tight. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot better actually. Hold on, I gotta move this. This is not in the right spot. Yeah, I think that's better. I mean, he's definitely still gonna knife you in the night, but
probably.
Actually, I think I'm gonna make his knife a little shorter and thicker.
Yeah, because he's got that proboscis.
Yeah, I really want it to be like you don't necessarily see this knife coming. It's only like
because even when you look at a close up of their face, the proboscis is fairly short. You can see it in a few of those photos that Derek shared, but yeah, they have a shorter, sort of thicker proboscis.
And now it looks like
now
it looks like he's carrying around a sword that broke off. But he's just like I can still stab something.
I can use that. Yeah, that's fine. I kind of like that too. He's improvising.
Another person might throw this sword away, but gosh darn it, I think it still works.
Listeners, if you're so inclined to send us an email, I'd love to know what your favorite bug is so far. Let us know at BugsNeedHeroes@gmail.com. I kind of wonder what everyone's favorite bug is. Like, is there a front runner? We've had so many bugs
there's
now.
Like an episode, people are like, the other episodes are okay, but gosh darn it, that
I love that bug. Yeah,
that Explodey Joe episode really just tickled my face.
Yeah. I want Dung Beetle to be my boyfriend.
He's taken. How dare you? All right, I'm gonna send this over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a little more D&D. I love the broken knife.
The broken sword is very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that works. Is a lot better. Look at that guy. Total chaos. Absolute chaos is the robber fly.
I also feel like if he stood up, he'd be like 6'4".
Yeah.
He'd be like so tall. But no one has any idea because he's always
crouching. Whenever we make a comic book about our heroes, there'll have to be one where one day he stands up fully and everyone's like, oh my god.
I was like, what the heck, Robber man? You've always been this tall?
So we agree he's a 6 out of 6. He's a chaos machine.
He's a gremlin for sure.
He's a little gremlin. He's got a beard. And he's the enemy of
he just hasn't shaved.
He just can't. Yeah.
He just hasn't had time. Yeah, there's got to be like, he's been this murder gremlin for all this time, and then they have to like sneak into a palace, and he like comes out like cleanly shaved, standing fully upright, and they're like, "Who are you?"
He suddenly looks like a taller version of Dusty. Everyone's confused.
Yeah, he's like incredibly handsome underneath all that stuff. But you rinse him of the terrible beard, he's like beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. We are.
I mean, Michael Fassbender is a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man. Yeah. Yeah. He is. He's underneath all that is Michael Fassbender.
There's one movie Michael Fassbender's in where he like wears a papier-mâché head the whole time, and except for like one scene where he takes it off.
I don't think I'm.
And you're like, you got Michael Fassbender, one of the most beautiful faces in Hollywood, and you put him underneath a papier-mâché mask the whole time. This is some real Oscar Isaac energy here. Let's knock it out.
Well, I think we've covered everything and then some.
Oh yeah.
I think we even managed to mention my boy at least once.
Always. Every time we gotta get him in there.
So all right.
Oh, I do want to say you should watch. I know you need to watch The Real Bug's Life.
I do.
But I watched the first episode of A Real Bug's Life that Disney Plus just released.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 1 was very good. So Ted was in.
I will check it out. If Ted's in, I'm in. All I need is an endorsement.
It held his. I mean, he's a 5-year-old who likes bugs, so like he was in. But they kind of did it. I think it was interesting. They kind of like picked 3 bugs from whatever biome they're in, and they kind of follow those 3 bugs and kind of create a little. There's like, but the jumping spider is like the main character of episode 1, so I think you'll like it. They do a little. There's like a little jumping spider fight right at the very beginning. And it's just like two jumping spiders be like,
and they're just waving their little arms at each other.
Yeah, they're just waving those those long front arms they have.
And well, they probably, I'm sure they explain this, but that first tactic is so no one has to fight. It's kind of like, can we settle this by frantically waving at each other? Because I mean, you don't want to risk getting injured. You don't want to risk getting injured or killed by your competitor, because they're probably both males, right?
You're probably your cohorts. I didn't look closely enough at their little
feets,
their little palpatai, whatever they are. Pedipalps, that's the word.
Yeah, I will.
But ever since you told me that the males have boxing gloves, that's like all I see is them being like.
Do you notice? Have you?
Yeah, I notice now. Now that you've said it to me, now I notice.
That's awesome.
Since I think the wolf spider episode, I've been seeing their little.
They're like
those little mechanical robots that punch each other's heads off.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
That's the one.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad you're out there looking at real spiders, figuring out if they're boys or girls.
Mostly in my house, they seem to be boys.
It's a good party trick.
Looking for ladies in my bathroom in particular.
Yeah, I think the majority of the wandering around spiders you'll find are males looking for females.
Yeah.
But still cool. Check webs too. Webs are usually find big juicy females.
Cody, don't listen to this part. There's one that lives in our room, and I keep purposely waving moths toward it. Like we had
caught any?
Well, we had like a housefly in our house, and I was like, during the big ice storm, and I was like, how did you even get in here? And the answer, I think, short answer is that it was warm in our house and cold outside.
Yeah.
And it just took the opportunity to get in, and so I kept trying to like wave it towards the big chonker in the corner of our bedroom, but it's behind the bedroom door, so Cody hasn't seen it.
I was going to say, I can't believe he hasn't seen it yet.
He doesn't look up there, only me.
You know, he is going to listen to this. He's going to
no!
Cody, just leave him. It's fine.
It's fine.
Just leave.
It's fine.
She's not going to
you haven't noticed her yet.
Maybe she's just up in the corner. Don't worry about it.
Listen
to my soothing voice when I tell you, just leave the spider alone. She's fine. She's a friend.
Yes.
I
did find her boyfriend's corpse a few days ago. I was like, uh-oh. Somebody got because he was like not far from the web, but he wasn't like in the web, so I was like, uh-oh.
She handled that.
She took care of you, buddy. I just had to like sweep.
Well, like the end of that mail, let's end the show. Take us out, Amanda.
So, well, if you want to find us, we won't play dead if you want to shake hands with us. That's a weird sentence. Well, as you know, we're on the Reddit. We're on the Instagram. We're on
Facebook,
Twitter, technically. Oh, we're on Facebook. That's one of the big ones we're at. We're at Facebook. Come talk to us. We'd love to engage with you. You'll hear all this again in the end credits. Stay for that end credit stinger. Love you. Bye. Bugs Need Heroes was created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman. Hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad, with some assistance from Chelsey Bawden and a few cats. Character art is by Amanda Niday. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Rolemusic. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out at bugsneedheroes.com, and most of the socials are under Bugs Need Heroes. Thank you to the Entomological Society of America for the Chrysalis Fund grant.
Would your light just go off? What was that?
My light turned off because I haven't moved close enough to the motion light in a while, and I forgot to turn it off motion. I'll be right back. I have to go
funny.
dance in front of the light. Hold on.